Good day, everyone. I am Ashley C. 40 from BSIT 1A1. For today's video, I will be discussing programming and logic. So, in the introduction, this presentation will help us understand what is the purpose of programming and logic and why we as IT must know the fundamentals of programming and logic. And through this presentation, it will guide us on what steps should we do. So, we'll explore the core concepts, essential tools, and practical examples to help us understand how to write effective code. So, what is programming? Programming is the process of creating instructions for a computer to follow. These instructions are written in a language that the computer can understand called a programming language. We use programming to communicate with computer. Ang programming kuno daw mao ni siya ang pamaagi nga makabuhat og mga instructions gamit ang programming languages like Python, HTML, unsa pa, JavaScript para masabtan ug sundon kini sa computer. Actually, dili mo function ang computer without the command and instructions of the users. So, kita nga users or programmers, kinahanglan nga knowledgeable enough ta about fundamentals of programming para masulbad nato ang any problems nga related ra pud anin nga topic. Like what I've said, kinahanglan nga ang atong instructions is nakasulat ni siya into words gamit ang programming languages. Aron masabtan kini sa computer and then iya kining sundon kay kung dili gamitan og programming languages, dili kani sundon sa computer bitaw, mas maga-conflict pa noon. So let's proceed to the next slide. What is logic in programming? So logic in programming is like the backbone of any program. It's the way we make sure our code does what we want, step by step. It's the system of reasoning that makes programming possible. It involves using statements, conditions, and algorithms to direct the flow of the program. Ang logic sa programming mao ni siya ang sunod-sunod nga pamaagi gamit ato ang critical thinking, mausab ni ang proseso para pag-design ug paghimo og ato ang code nga epektibo kay siya nga makasolbad og problema. Unya, of course, para masolbad ang problema nga gihatag, kinahanglan sab nato gamitan og mga conditional statements and algorithms para mao ni siya ang mo-direct sa flow or dagan sa program. Pag moingon tag algorithms, mao ni siya ang sunod-sunod nga pamaagi para makuha nato ang atoang result sa gihatag nga problem. Ang conditional statements pod is ako na siyang i-discuss later. So, for example, sa programming logic, kanang maghimo or magsulat kag recipe para sa cake. Ang recipe kabali ang guide nimo o mag-instruct kung unsa nga mga ingredients ang imong gamiton para i-mix sila together. Pareha ra po ni siya sa programming. Ang program nga imong gihimo, mao po ni siya ang mag-ingon sa computer kung unsa nga pamaagi or proseso ang angay niyang buhaton para makompleto ang task. Why is logic important in programming? Logic helps programming create solutions to problem in a structural way. Without logic, programs could become inefficient or fail to solve the intended problem. Logic is fundamental to programming because it underpins decision-making, problem-solving, debugging, algorithm development, and overall code quality. Nganong importante man jud ang logic sa programming? Kay ang logic manggod is makatabang kini og sulbad sa problema by creating a solution sa structural nga pamaagi. Ug isa pod sa makasulbad sa problema is ang paggamit og conditional statements. In short, ang logic DI sa programming mao ni siya ang mga techniques para makahimo og saktong algorithms para iyang i-control ang flow or dagan sa program. So naay tulo ka types ang programming. Ang isa is Boolean logic. Kani nga logic is this involves logical operation that evaluate expressions as either true or false. Boolean logic is a foundational in programming, as many programming languages use it to control conditions and loops. Boolean variables, true ug false. Basic Boolean operators niya is and, or, not. So, ang Boolean kani siya ang expression nga ang mga tanan values are either true or false. So kibali gi-compare nimo ang duha or more variables para makuha nimo ang result. So isa sa example niya is the number greater than 10 and less than 20. As you can see, naa siya question mark nga nagpamatuod kung ang 10 ba is greater than ba siya sa or less than 20. So it's either mag-provide diri og true or false nga statements para makuha na to ang ihang solution or result. Next is conditional logic. Conditional logic allows a program to make decisions based on certain conditions or inputs. If-else statement, making decisions based on conditions. Ang kanipod siya nga logic is magamit ni siya diamond symbol sa flowchart nga nagpamatuod nga para makahimo og decisions base sa conditions or inputs nga imong gisulbat. Example ani is if it's raining, bring an umbrella, else wear sunglasses. So nagamit ta og if else statement para to make decision bitaw based sa conditions. So kung maulan kuno daw, bring an umbrella. So nagamit siya if. Kung other decision naman, kung dili mo ulan, so you can wear sunglasses. The third one is the loop logic. Loop logic in programming allows you to repeatedly execute a block of code as long as a certain condition is met. Kani siya nga logic is magbalik-balik yun siya. Magbalik-balik yung block of code until nga ma-fulfill niya or makuha niya ang results based sa conditions. So there are types of loops. First is for loop. The for loop is typically used when you know in advance how many times you want the loop to run. It includes an initialization, a condition to check, and an increment or decrement. Kani siya nga loop, which is for loop, is kanang kabalo na ka in advance kung ikapila ka magbalik-balik para makuha nimo ang result. So as you can see in the image, mo ni siya ang example sa for loop using the Python. Mura ni siya 5 times only, so magbalik-balik yun ni siya 5 times. From printing numbers 1 padong 5. And ang range niya is 1 to 6. So sa 1 jud ka magsugod padong 5. Wa na ilabot ang 6 kay dili na siya included kay ang upper limit raman kay 6. The second one is a while loop. A while loop runs as long as the condition is true. You might use a while loop when you don't know in advance how many times you'll need to run the loop. Murun lang ni siya nga loop if ang condition is tinuod, pero kung dili siya murun. Pwede ra sab nimo gamiton ang while loop if wala nimo nabalaan in advance kung ikapila ka murun. So, pwede naman siya gamiton para makuha nimo ang result. Applying logic to programming problems. So when solving a programming problem, there are several logic steps and strategies you can use. Here's how logic can be applied. Applying logic to programming problems. When solving a programming problem, there are several logic steps and strategies you can use. Here's how logic can be applied. First, understand the problem. Identify inputs and outputs. Carefully read the problem to understand what data is being given inputs and what is expected as a result outputs. This step is key because it helps to clarify what kind of logic needs to be applied. Understand the problem. So kinahanglan jud nimo sabton una ang problema. Adisir ka maghimo og process or proseso aron makuha nimo ang result. Aron makuha nimo ang result, kinahanglan nga i-identify sa nimo una kung unsa jud ang iyang input para makuha nimo ang iyang output.